Good morning from this beautiful place called Chica Mocha Canyon. It is 2 hours south of this town called Bucaramanga, and we left on time around 3 p.m. but we got stuck in crazy mountain traffic almost 2 hours, and by the time we got up to the top of the mountain to the canyon, it was pitch dark. We could not find a campsite, so we decided to pull over and do wild camping and found an empty piece of land and slept there very peacefully.
Throughout our way from Medellin up until this point, we've been sleeping in the most random places this entire week. So this video, we just want to talk to you guys about how we go about finding wild camping spots and how do we personally feel safe after doing this for 2 years, and just some tips to make sure that you guys can possibly find beautiful spots like this also.
He has the best life, doesn't he? So yeah, we'll get started. First we'll make some chai and breakfast and coffee for Karthik. Breakfast is coming up, chai, coffee, and for breakfast we have these wraps with amazing Colombian avocados, some onions and eggs and pesto. Karthik cannot live without this black liquid. Let's start with step one. Nobody is comfortable straight away while camping. You have to take baby steps, and by that I mean do a lot of camping in established campgrounds, whether it's with your car or with a rental camper van. Tent camping would be a great place to start if you've never done that also. The good thing with established campgrounds is you don't have to worry about someone kicking you out or finding water supply, electricity, Wi-Fi, all the other amenities that you need. We had a lot of experience with that. When we got the camper van the first night, instead of going to an established campground, we chose to camp in the middle of the city of Toronto in a big park. We spent our first night in the van, deep, parked in High Park. Not noisy at all. Pretty dark. I slept really good. I think Karthik was struggling a bit. I was paranoid the whole night. I was like, oh, someone's gonna kick us out, someone's gonna say something, someone's gonna call cops on us. But nothing happened, had a peaceful night, and that's when I realized it's all the fear is in your head. I would say try doing camping close to your home. Go camp around your city, around like regular parks that you're familiar with. So just in case someone kicks you out, you have a trouble, you can go back home and start all over again, just to get that comfort level started. I got these Colombian cookies snack called linguines, and they're like a crispy bread with sugar, and I felt they would be perfect for chai, so I'm gonna taste it now. Great snack for chai. That's the first thing I think of when I buy a snack, how well it'll go with chai.
You know the rule, guys. Sim does the cooking, I do the cleaning. While this campsite was absolutely amazing, we've enjoyed our time here, we are running extremely low on our supplies. Our water's running low, our battery's almost drained out, and I need to shower. It's time to find an established campground. Let's talk more about what that is on the way. Campground is one of the scariest roads I've driven so far. These are some sheer drops on each side. I'm pretty scared. But which way is it, Sim? There's another road going up this way.
I'm not going up. It's this way.
You sure?
Yeah.
We have made it to our campsite for the night. We'll see how long we stay here. But it's beautiful. Just the drive up here was a little sketchy, but we're alive and it's gonna be a beautiful sunset, I think. Let's go check out the campsite.
So basically there are three types of campsites. One is an established campground where you have all the amenities like water, electricity, sometimes internet, a dumping station, kitchen. It has an admission fee which can vary depending on which country you are. Next is wild campsite. There is no entrance fees, absolutely zero amenities, and you have to pack in and pack out. That means you cannot create any trash. This is usually a public land, crown land, and BLM land. Third is an informal campsite. This is not really a campsite. What it is anybody with a parking lot. So it could be a hotel, hostel, Walmart, gas station, and they let you park in their private property at some cost. Sometimes there are amenities included, like maybe they'll have a tap you can fill up the water from, let you use their Wi-Fi. Of course, sometimes they let you use their washrooms too.
How do we actually find these campsites? First of all, the formal ones are pretty easy to come by if you utilize technology that other travelers have already provided reviews for of all the spots that they have stayed in along their journey. Our favorite apps to utilize are iOverlander, which is like the OG travel app for camper vans, and it has hundreds of locations already predefined. The only way this app will continue working is if we leave reviews with latest information whenever we leave a campsite that we think is worth for others to visit. The second app that's very popular in the States right now is called Seeker. And Seeker has a much better user interface than iOverlander, but it hasn't been expanded internationally yet. However, it has very cool features like figuring out different communities you can be part of, taking part in chats, and going to events. This is kind of like a Vanlife ultimate app if you're in the States and Canada.
Let's talk about what happens when the technology fails you or you are stuck in a situation where you cannot see any campsites nearby. We have learned ways around this. So there are a few safe places that can be your go-to anywhere. First is a police station. I know it sounds crazy. You just go to a police station in a town and be like, hey, I'm out of town. Can we just park outside overnight? I'm a traveler and it's not safe for me to drive at night. They totally understand you. And because you're a tourist, they'll keep an eye on your vehicle. Second is dog parks or any good residential area. We have become really good at finding good street parking spots. Find the most nicest neighborhood, find a quiet street with less street lights, and just quietly park on that street. Third option is again a whole list of places you can explore. We have asked a bunch of Indian restaurants on the way if we can just park outside, and they've been so excited to have an Indian traveler that they let us park outside. Gas stations, of course, are throughout any country. You'll find gas stations and they allow you to camp. The only drawback is they can be really noisy. Public parking lots, like paid parking lots, there are zero amenities, but they have overnight fees. And if you ask them, we can camp here overnight, they will just charge you like a 12-hour duration and let you park in any of the paid parking lots. So these 3-4 spots you will be able to find no matter which country you are. Even if it's on the app, not on the app, you should be able to find these places. Key is to ask, because you're always hesitant, and if you just go ask and tell them you're a tourist, you've come from far, people actually understand, they want to welcome you into their country and they let you camp. Keeping in mind, you have to think about your safety.
Talking about safety, while I'm sitting on this very unsafe ledge, as simple as it sounds, you gotta trust your gut feeling. If something feels unsafe, if an area that you're pulling into does not feel right and something feels off, just try to exit and try to find something that does feel better. Now, having said that, when you're new, you might even find empty parking lots or some of these places that Sim mentioned pretty unsafe, which is quite common because you are pretty much going to be the only ones there. This is something that you just have to overcome over time by just slowly easing into it. And the more times you do this, trust me, after 2 years, we really don't even think about it too much. Almost every single place feels safe to us. There are some key rules that we follow no matter where we park, especially when we're doing wild camping. The first is to make sure we lock all our doors. even though we have an old camper van and it's very easy to probably get into our van, it's better to just make sure that the access to it is not that easy. Second, we make sure that all our curtains are down and everything is blacked out from the outside. This is not really to hide the fact that we're staying in this place, but it's just to kind of get some privacy from the outside of people that might be passing by. Third one is to make sure that there's nothing left in your front cab. So this does not tempt anybody to break in, even if there is a threat of somebody breaking in. The fourth one is important if you're camping in the city, but if you're camping out in the wild and nobody's around, it's okay. We don't have anything mounted on the exteriors also. Things like my surfboard or the garbage bag that's carrying some of our camping equipment, all of that stuff has to come off and go back inside the car for the night. Lastly, we have our guard dog, Everest, who we have not trained at all to guard us, but somehow he has taken real care of our home on wheels. And anytime there's somebody approaching our car late at night and he doesn't feel good about this person's intentions, he's going to let out the loudest bark you'll ever hear. We have literally seen innocent people just trying to take a glimpse of what's happening in our van because they've probably never seen a camper van before, and Everest would let out the loudest bark from inside, and we would just see from our tinted glass inside them running for their lives, and they don't even know they were inside there.
In the past 2 years, we've been knocked only once. We have never felt unsafe. That is something that we have learned over the past 2 years. It's a change in mentality, change in perspective. You start to trust people. You start to believing that people are not out there to harm you. In fact, these countries, these tourists, these people really want to welcome tourists because they have, their country has a negative impression. So they want to change that, and they literally do their best to help you have a comfortable stay in their country. Of course, things can go wrong, and there is no harm in picking up a hotel or an Airbnb because it's not a challenge. Van life is not a challenge. Oh, I have to stick into the van. No, if you cannot find anything, if you're dealing with a bad time or you're just like, you're done with it, just go get a nice hotel or a motel or Airbnb. There's so many options. If nothing works out, just go to a hostel. Us being Indian van lifers, we have to update our parents almost on a daily basis where we are, and every time we're going to off-grid places or places we're not unsure of, we always send them a live location and tell them in advance, hey, we're going here, we'll be back in 2-3 days. If you don't hear from us, don't worry about it. हम पापा अभी हैं बारीचारा में.
आप यहाँ हो ना?
हाँ.
वहाँ पे अपनी लाइव लोकेशन हमको भेज दो.
Always let someone, your friend, your family, your parents, send them a live location. Give them a deadline that if you don't hear back from us in this many days, there is a problem.
I hope you guys enjoyed this little video and adventure that we had in Chicamocha. I want to say Chicamocha, but it's not Chicamocha. It is Chicamocha Canyon with us today.
The whole aspect of finding campsite is a huge part of van life. It is almost the most important decision you make during your day. And it can get really stressful sometimes because you are tired end of the day and you just want to go to sleep, but you don't have that luxury. You have to make sure there is a safe place for you to sleep, and eventually with practice your gut will get stronger in terms of finding the right places.
Yep. And I hope you guys found these tips useful. I need to shower. We're in an established campground, like I just said,
so this man can shower.
Charge our van so we can go and find these wild camp spots starting tomorrow again. So we'll see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, comment, like, share, subscribe, everything.
We have to hit 50,000 subs end of this year. It is a huge goal, but you guys can make it happen. So please hit the subscribe button.
We love you guys. Bye.